States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to officially call this special City Council meeting to order for September 9th, on Tuesday, September 9th to order. And then accept a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I guess we got to do a roll call first. I forgot my agenda here. So roll call, please.
Goodchild.
Yes.
Wick.
Yes.
Sturgeon.
Here.
Bruns.
Yes.
Pick.
Here.
Okay, now approve the agenda, please. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, so those of you who saw the agenda, there's nothing on the agenda except council discussion. And the first piece of, or public discussion, excuse me. First piece of public discussion that we're going to have is a little talk from our fire chief, around the room. Well, there he is, back there, and whoever he appoints to talk about the new firehouse that's on the ballot for November. So with that, I'll give it up to Chief Shipper.
Thanks, Mayor. Is this where we're supposed to stay tonight? You bet. Good. Get a little flyer. Good evening. Thanks for coming. I'm Dave Sherman, Fire Chief. I've been chief now 15 years here in Morris. Been here longer than that. I'm up in the fire service. I was a firehouse rat years ago. Couple things. We've got a flyer here that I'm going to look at real quick. You'll be getting these in the mail very soon. It's a tri-fold flyer that has frequently asked questions on it. It's got our blueprint or footprint, I should say, of the firehouse that we're trying to build. It's got the taxation stuff. So all the numbers that have been floating around can be squared up. $77.50 per 100,000. $77 for $100,000 loan for this station. And that's if we use the entire $16 million that we're trying to use. But I don't think it's going to cost that much. I really don't. We are building a firehouse for this community, for the growth of this community, to keep up with the times and what's going on here, and make our responses even better than what they are now for times and things like that. After reading some of the Facebook posts and stuff, I don't appreciate personal attacks. This station is not Dave Shipper's fire station. This is the city of Lamar's fire station. As a matter of fact, with my help, I probably won't see this station, which makes me sad, because it's definitely needed, and it will help us with our insurance score and things like that. People have asked, why don't we use it in the school room? By the way, I had nothing to do with the school bond. I had nothing to do with the water plant that's being built, and I had nothing to do with your utility bills. So let's get that room. That's not me, that's others, because of the needs of the city, okay? And how we use so much water, and everybody has to poop, and things like that. It just happens, okay? So I'm not responsible for those. What I'm responsible, what I was hired for 15 years ago, was to take this department to the next level, to provide services for this community that they couldn't provide for themselves. I.e., not everybody can afford to have an ambulance or a fire truck in their garage at home. Maybe back in the day, but not anymore. And we struggle with volunteerism. So the days of the butcher, baker, and horseshoe maker running down the street when the fire whistle blows is over. And the fire whistle didn't blow as much as it does now. 2,000 times a year now. Not 179 times like before. Or 50 times like years and years ago. There's more requirements on us for training. There's more requirements on us for where we locate buildings. So I've had some questions about why can't you use Clark School? Why can't you use Franklin? Use that lot. Well, we're told by our insurance store for this community, and what your fire insurance is based on, where we have to locate our stations for distance. And that's why when you go to larger communities, you see 7 fire stations throughout the city, or 50, depending on the size of the community. They recommend 1 station for every 4,000 to 5,000 people. We've had 2 fire stations in this town for over 50 years, but we're not 8,500 people anymore. We're over 10.5 at night. We fluctuate to almost 14,000 during the day. People are surprised to know that sometimes. And that's what we're actually having to take care of. We're a 24-hour service. We never close. So if the weather's bad, we can't say, oh, maybe the close time, we're done. You know? So that makes it tough too. The volunteerism, as I said, is down. We've got Facebook posts, we've got apps available, but we can't just take anybody. I can't take sex offenders, even if you've changed. I can't take people that can't make training, have a bad driving record, all kinds of things. So all I've tried to do in the last 15 years is try to make things better for this community and get us by. We've done a lot of adapting and overcoming with stations and with staffing and different things we've tried to do. This station's been in the works for a couple, 3 years because we knew we were going to need it. Station 2 is 21 years old. Looks new. It's not. It was built for volunteer response. Both of them were set up that way. Not for full-time staffing like we've had the demand for now. It wasn't set up to house as many trucks or ambulances as we have to have now. You know, and in the future, there's going to be more needed. I can see it coming. We don't have room to put them anywhere. We've got stuff spread out through 4 different buildings right now. And that makes it a nightmare for response or checking equipment and trying to keep things up. This would take us down to 2 facilities. We've got to have stuff on both sides of the railroad tracks. It just passed now where a train can be 2 miles long instead of a mile. That blocks about every crossing in town for us. Lamar's now is 8 miles from one end of town to the other. 8 miles. And people don't realize that. But if you drive from out here, and you drive all the way to Sedona or Nitco, it's probably miles. 7.9 something. And we have to drive the streets. We can't cut through yards. So when you're building stuff, you have to have good roads. The proposed location's on 12th Street. It's a main thoroughfare through the community. It gets us to the bypass. It gets us to 6th Avenue, 7th Avenue Southeast, Central Avenue, so we can get places fast. We get on those main roads that are snowplowed first and things like that. So that helps us as well. We already own the ground, so that helps us. And in this map, you'll see the circles when you get it of our community. Our community actually lays northeast to southwest. It doesn't really truly lay north and south. So if you think about the way our town lays out, that's where we have to locate things for response times. So there's a bunch of questions and answers in here. Our ISO score, our insurance rating for the marks, is a 2. 1's the best, 10's the worst. Your insurance for your homes, your insurance for your businesses is based on that score. We're in the top 4% in the country. And why is that? Because of our water, our fire, and our comm center. Those 3 things are how they're scored. 50% is fire, 40% is water, and 10% is comm center. That keeps your fire insurance rates down on your homes and your properties and your businesses. If we don't have the right equipment, if we don't replace trucks when we should, if we don't carry the right equipment, if we don't have stations located in the right place, that changes our score. So this $77 per 100,000 could actually be on your fire insurance as well as your taxes if we don't try to keep up and keep things located where we should. We have 1 shower at Station 1 for our duty crews. or our staff coming back. That doesn't cut it anymore with all the carcinogens and things we get into, and I can attest to that because I'm full of them. You know, so we don't have the proper washing machines and things that we should in certain locations to wash our gear. 35 years ago, 37 years ago when I started, you didn't wash your gear. You know, you were the dirty firefighter, you were the good one, right? Because you were in all the stuff. You know? Doug's sitting here, he can attest to it. He's survived cancer. He's on our department 27 years. We didn't do any of that anyway. We tried a little, but not like we do now. Now, after you go on a fire, your gear is washed, hung up to dry. What's that mean? Everybody's got to have 2 sets of gear. Because we don't know when the next call's coming. That could be 15 minutes after one we were just at. So we tried to do that so we can rotate some things, but we got to have the proper equipment to do that. We actually have to have a wash machine that spins 100 G-force to get the carcinogens and polyhydrocarbons out of that gear. So there's different requirements we have that, you know, people don't totally understand. Now, a lot of that stuff we fundraise for different things. We get grants for it whenever we can. We try, you know. But to raise millions of dollars to build a building through pancake feeds and grants, there are not very many grants out there, I tell you that right now for this kind of stuff. You can't do it. We've got to have community help and community support. And that's what we're looking for. That's all we're looking for. We're looking to have more than one shower. But you got to have the space to put it in. We're landlocked at both buildings where we're at. You know, there's nowhere to really add on. Now, Station 2, we could have a garage stall on, maybe 2, but that doesn't help with all the sleeping quarters and the bathrooms and the living room and the kitchen, because we have people living there. That's why we call it a firehouse and not a fire station. Station 2 is a fire station. Station 1 downtown right now is a firehouse. There's people that live there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But it wasn't built for that, it wasn't set up for that, it was an REC building. Now we've converted and adapted for my 15 years here and made it work. But it's just not working anymore. We don't have room for any more trucks, we don't have room for any more people. Our meeting room is so small that when we have a meeting, we need to come out to a room like this. We go to Total Motors, we go to the KC Hall, we go to the Legion Club, so we can get all the staff in one room for a meeting. It's not conducive. You know, we're trying to grow our department with the city. Well, actually, we're trying to maintain our department. As I said, the volunteers isn't there. If I get one application out of 10 that works, that's pretty good right now. Honestly. Because it takes a lot of time. And we're not like other service clubs. We have a lot of rules, a lot of regulations, a lot of insurance stipulations. So that's what we're trying to do. So when we sit and look at these maps for this type of facility, one, we've got to find ground, which we found. And we used some COVID money, we used some donated money to get that done. Because, you know, to find a spot that you can still get the volunteers to quickly, and it's not out in the industrial park in the middle of all that and things like that where everybody lives, it's hard to find without buying a building and tearing one down. Or something like that. So I'd love to use one of the school grounds, but it just is not conducive for where we need to locate a building. Station 2, we talked at first about trying to do everything up there and getting rid of tennis courts. Well, that was like killing Easter Bunny, wasn't it? So we're not about to do that. So that doesn't work. And we still have been locked for parking. And we're still in a residential area where, you know, sort of like the train, people complain, well, that train's loud. Well, the train was there first, but, you know, you come out of the station, the siren's going at 3 in the morning, the neighbors sometimes don't like that. You know, heard the other call last night, chief, you know, no. We're down there, we're coming out to a funeral home, and most people in there don't complain, right? And we're in an industrial area by Kemp's, and there's a lot of noise up there, so that fits too. We need an apron to pull stuff out on and check and work and put up ladder trucks and things like that. My guys do it downtown right now. I'll tell you what, I don't like it at all. We put cones out. The other night we were out there trying to clean cones from a call. I literally parked my car in the street with the lights going where the guys were working beside me, because I was afraid somebody's gonna get hit by a car. Because for whatever reason, that corner down there, go as fast as you can all the way to the stop sign, slam on the brakes, if you need to stop. So, we just need to find a better location, which we have, that's conducive for all this stuff. And then we need the building to be a firehouse for the future. I'm talking 50 years from now. I'm not talking right now today. Because I don't go down the road if we need 4 ambulances instead of 3. Or an Amtrak's truck, or a COVID vehicle, or you never know what's going to pop up. So we've got to have the space to do it. And I know it's, to some, a bad time, just past the school, our utility bills have gone up. I get that. But it's my job as fire chief is just to tell you what we need. And try to keep the fire rescue department the best it can be for you folks. That's my job. And that's what I'm doing. But this is not my fire station. This is my nurse's firehouse. Not mine. And like I said, I might not see it, unfortunately. I always threatened Woody that I was going to put my stuff in the office one day and then retire. I don't know if I'll make that. Doesn't sound like it, but I'm trying. But I won't. So, this flyer will come out in the mail. It's threefold. It talks about the tax impact, long-term impact. It shows our response area, which has gone up immensely with the communities we're covering now. Mars, Owens, Screwball, Merrill, Brunsville, Seney, 200 miles of rural. Our population has grown. Our town has expanded to 8 miles from one end to the other. We've had to expand too. I don't know how many people live in a 100-year-old home in this building, but that's what our fire station downtown is. It's over 100 years old and it wasn't a fire station. It wasn't built to be a fire station. We've tried to make it work, and we have for the 15 years I've been here. But there's different things that we need. We need to be able to have power all the time. So it costs a little more because you need a generator. We're always open. We never close. We can't be without electricity or power. We got to be able to sell out tornado signs. We got to have radio communications. We got to have places to dry equipment, paint equipment, wash gear. That's a huge load. We've made it work because that's what we do. But this was overdue. And we actually talked about doing this a couple of years ago. But I did not want to run a bond issue for a fire station at the same time the school was running. I did not want to do that. That's too much at the same time. Now, some people say, well, you're running it next year, that's too much too. Well, at least now, it's just us to vote on. It shows you the amount. And I would hope, well, my house falls into $228 a year. That's pretty cheap, and my wife will pay it if I'm not here. Because that's how important it is to me. But I would think that for your fire rescue department, in a 24-hour service, that hopefully everybody could afford $228,000. That's for $300,000 home almost. So, questions? I'm not supposed to take all the time, but I'm a talker. Don't ask my guys to tell you.
Appreciate what you do, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying. And I have to, like I said, Lance, I was hired to take care of the fire rescue department in this community and give it the best we could. It's not what we do for you, it's what we're willing to do for you that most people don't understand. Anything else?
Thank you,
Is there any questions? Otherwise, these flyers are coming out. You'll get them in the mail. We have 2 open houses, October 13th and October 16th at 6:30 at the fire stations. We're going to have both stations opened up. Come look at the trucks back against the wall and we can't get around. Come look at where we have to pull a truck out to get to the truck we need. Come look at the bedroom in the closet without a window, without ventilation, things like that the guys are sleeping in because they care and they want to do the job for you. Come look and then make an informed decision. If you have other questions on what's in the pamphlet, I happen to be 24/7. So my phone's always on, it's on the website. People call me, I don't know what they a lot. 5 or 6 times a week. week after 8 o'clock, sometimes after midnight. Whatever, call me, that's what I was hired for. And that's what we do. That's what we do. Questions? I can't answer all that.
Full-time people do you have?
Full-time people? 11.
11?
So we run 3 on a day, like there's 3 at the station right now. We have a driver for my ambulance and 2 guys in the back working on a patient. So that's why we staff it. Like, they take the first call that comes in. So if it's a fire, they get on the fire truck, if it's an ambulance call, we get on the ambulance. And then we backfill with pagers, with volunteers, and other full-time guys that come in and get overtime. And I'll tell you today, we had a call, a guy stuck in an auger. We had 2 volunteers show up at all. 2. Because of the time of day and the jobs they were. So we had 2 show up out of 30. And when you're running sometimes 6 calls a day, you can't do that with volunteers. You gotta have some full-time people. It's too much. They can't be worked that often, you know. So, do I ever see it in a full-time department? No, I really don't. But I think you're gonna see more of a split of maybe half and half. We got great volunteers. But when I tell people that get concerned, I said, if you're gonna have a call, and we don't have full-time people, make sure it's after 5 o'clock. Because between 8 and 5, it's gotta be full-time people. Because if you get 2 guys to show up, that can't do it. Yeah,
When does this go to vote?
November 4th, general election. Yep.
November 4th, general election, and 60% approval is needed to pass.
Yeah, it's gotta be a super majority, it can't be 50.
Dave, you have 3 people working right now, are staying overnight right now. What is the new building? What are you looking at for people staying overnight?
Same,
People?
same.
So-
We put 9 bedrooms in it, because I don't know in the future, 50 years from now, Tori, if there'll be 9 people living there.
Sure.
But I would like for each guy to have his own bedroom.
Sure.
But we don't have that now, and we won't have that here. They have to change sheets and all that stuff. We have 1 locker room, and we have females and males. That's a little uncomfortable for me as chief. When I got a girl in there changing or trying to shower, and I got guys in there changing and trying to shower, and everybody's married to